5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Let's Hangout. As 2024 draws to a close, we're going to take a moment to pause, rewind, and reflect on the year that was. From personal wins, Galaxy of Hero events, unexpected moments during our podcast or streaming that made us laugh, this is our chance to look back and celebrate the journey. Whether you're here for the nostalgia, the laughs, or just want to hear us roast our own bad calls, this episode is our final hangout for 2024. So grab your blasters and blue milk because we're about to deep dive into the year that was 2024. How you going, guys? We got Womprat, Bones, and also a special guest or host or occasional host, Matthias.
Yep, I've grabbed my blue milk. I've grabbed my blue milk.
Good.
Matthias has his clear milk.
Yeah,
Yep.
He's just got... It's actually vodka.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
You can
At
only
8 o'clock in the morning.
You can only find that on
It's vodka.
It's blue tequila from Atten. That's the only place you can find it.
How are you, Matthias? It's been a while. How you been?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to talk about my experiences with the podcast and the community and announce some big news for 2025.
Do you want to rip the Band-Aid off?
Yep, you're first. You're first up. You're the important
All right.
guest.
So, for everybody who misses me being on the podcast, I have great news. For everybody who hated me being on the podcast, go fuck yourselves. On January 11th, I'm going to be back on the podcast. My shift is changing at work and I'll have Saturdays off, which will mean that while I will be showing up probably tired, depending on how late I go to bed Friday night, I will be back on the podcast starting on January 11th.
Yay! But you can't be any more tired or stay up any more later than I do on Fridays, so you'll just be the same as me.
Yeah. As of right now, I go to bed at 2:30 in the morning on Friday, so...
I used to stream really late, and Mike's like, you have 6.5 hours, and I'm like, Jesus, that's it? I'm like, fuck. Breaking it down like that sucks. But yeah, it'll be good to have you back. All 15 of you who originally watched us back then will remember Matthias, so they're going to be very excited to have you back.
Yep.
And most of you will remember that, like, starting from episode 4, Bones immediately began talking shit about how I was really more of a special guest host than anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're already started.
Womprat was on the episode like twice, and Bones was like, I just want you guys all to know Womprat's more of a host than Matthias is.
Womprat was a guest more than Matthias was the actual host. So we're like, time to move Womprat into the spot. But no, Matthias, I'm glad to have you back in all seriousness, brother.
Yeah.
I love talking to you. You remind me of myself. You have some interesting takes on things. If you don't like him, go fuck yourselves. I like that attitude, so I'm excited to have you on, man.
Yeah. So I was listening to yesterday's episode on the drive home last night on you guys going off on your 30-minute long tangent about how to fix GAC. And the whole time I was like, would you people shut the fuck up and get to the next topic?
It wasn't even a topic on the docket either.
Yeah,
that was a tangent on a tangent. I don't think, it wasn't even close to a topic. That's what we do, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
How you want that?
I'm good. Been a very busy morning. Been racing around like a loon, and so the good news for me this year is like I managed to get my front wheel, which is a powered front wheel. So now it's like instead of me going, it's 8 a.m. and I've got to go to the shop so I can be back and still have 30 minutes to get ready for the podcast at 12. It's like now that same journey is like 10 minutes. So it's sod this. I'm just going to wake up an hour later like I did today, and it's like, I'm going to the shop. Bye! Whee!
That's so
and
good to
scared
hear,
the living
brother.
hell out of cars.
I'm so
Scaring the
happy.
living hell out of cars.
I'm so happy for you, brother. You deserve it more than anyone, man. So I'm glad to hear that.
How many trips can you get before you have to like charge your battery and stuff?
It works out at about 80 kilometers, so something like
Jesus Christ.
65-ish miles. And it's like I've charged it once since I've had it, and I'm finally in the bottom 10% of the battery. So it's like, you know what? I'll charge it again tonight.
Okay, that's pretty good though.
Yeah.
That's a long distance.
Well, it means this is the part of the good news for me is that in March is the first Comic-Cons in the UK that I can get my ass to. I'm also going to be going to Gamescom, and I'm going to be streaming them. So I'm going to be streaming live from them.
That's
every
awesome.
year.
That'll be cool. That's been one of my bucket list things, is to do something like that.
Yep. It's going to be interesting to work out how to do the cameras and everything, but that's something that I am working on, and it's like, yeah, it's going to be good.
Okay.
Do they still do them in Orlando? I'm not even that close to Orlando, but I feel like that was like the place for Comic-Con to happen, or was it LA?
There'll be ones all over. There'll be local ones all over.
San Diego Comic-Con is like the biggest Comic-Con in America, besides maybe New York City, which is MegaCon. But Orlando and Lakeland, and I think maybe even Tampa, do Comic-Cons all the time.
Yeah. It's like I've already got tickets for the one in Glasgow, the one in Edinburgh. I've got tickets for 2 different things down in Birmingham. I've already got tickets for London, and I've got a couple of tickets booked for Manchester. I'm even looking at the one in Germany for Gamescom. So it's like, yeah, I could be traveling a lot more next year.
Good to hear, man.
My wife and I try to go to I think we probably go to about 2 cons a year, usually.
Oh, shit. Do you dress up like an anime character?
I fucking wish I could afford that bullshit.
What anime character do I see dressing up? Like one of those big tittied anime characters for some reason. I can just see you dressing up like one.
No, actually, I really want to get a cosplay for Rimuru from that time I reincarnated as a slime, but I just haven't gotten around to it / don't have the money for it.
You know what the best cosplay for Matthias would be? The cone from Toy Story 2. Where they're running across the road. Yeah, he's just a cone. Runs around as a cone all day.
Both those were deep dives. I was like, who the fuck are both of you talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just on a tour, man. I'm on a tour, man.
Mike.
Bones, how are you
going?
Oh, well, Bones first.
We'll do Bones first, and then we'll do Aussie Mike last as usual.
Mike's the nice guy. He goes
Mike
last.
gets the bone last.
Yeah, nice guys finish last.
Well, see, you ask me how I am, and then I start and go on to the next topic. I transition.
See, he's the transition person.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just out of the loop.
Yeah, you've been out of the game for a long time
anymore.
I just want to say, it's 30 degrees in Florida right now. I'm fucking freezing. And then I look over and I'm standing next to Womp Rat with this fucking snow falling. And I just feel like it's real. I feel like I'm really being
I don't know what you're
on.
complaining about, Bones. It's 41 whole degrees where I am.
Well, the thing is like our heater works, but the fan doesn't. So I have to go down there and kick the fan on, and someone has to be up here and turn it on, because you'll hear like a noise when it kicks on. And if you don't do it right then, it doesn't work. And then only with heat, not the air conditioner, there's some other cycle that happens like several minutes or however long later. I'd have to stand out there and wait for that cycle. So it turns on for like 10 minutes and shuts off. So now we have a heater that's like this big, probably only a few inches, and it blows the fuses in our house, so I can't use that. And so now our house isn't that small. It's a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom house. And so we're relying on the oven, and it keeps the kitchen warm and doesn't really keep anything else warm. So, yeah. Anyways, that's my complaint.
Solid.
So I'm doing good though, besides being freezing ass cold. and you guys.
So, what's your good thing to do with this year then? What's your good thing to do with this year?
Paying the bills every month.
Yeah, that is definitely good.
Good start. It's difficult. It's hard to do.
I'm one of those kids that's like,
Yeah.
Please, sir, can I have another? It's like
I'm gonna be honest. I have not managed to pay all of my bills on time every month this year.
Yeah, and like I'm not afraid to say like you guys have helped me out, and I actually just appreciate you guys. We'll get to that point, but I appreciate you guys and everyone else who's helped me out because it's tough. Alex is getting. I'm more appreciative of Alex than anything. Like she's done so well. She's got a job. She's getting promoted today. She's getting interviewed, so that's going to help us out a lot.
That's awesome! I didn't know that she had gotten a job.
Yeah, she's been working for a few weeks. It hasn't been very long, but she always gets promoted ASAP. Like she works hard.
Sweet.
She always becomes manager when she has a job.
Yeah.
But you know, I've had a couple seizures this year. I'm just glad to be alive. I don't think too much has happened, but I'm blessed to be alive. I know this is kind of not this isn't the most cheery thing, I guess, but I feel blessed if I have a roof over my head, pine cones for the kids, and you know, we're here for another year. So you know, I'm just glad that the best thing that's happened really is just the podcasts are doing good. I have friends like you guys, and we'll get more into that when we have our list. But I know it was like not much has changed this year, right? We're just getting through the motions, and I know that's kind of dreary to say, but it's actually a blessing. So I don't want to bring it down anymore. So
we the good thing about this episode is that it's not like doesn't need to be cheery. Like it is what it is. Like the world can be shit at times, right? So
also just like I think I've talked to every adult when we see this on the podcast. It's like if you're an adult during this time of the year, it's not cheery. It's fucking stressful. It fucking sucks. And if you have kids, my God, man, the more kids you have, the more stressful it is. And
I do not have kids, but I do have like 9 nieces and nephews.
Jesus
and
Christ.
so
I don't think you need to have any then.
Yeah.
So Matthias is more skint than the rest of us.
Well, I'm supposed to be the cool uncle, so I gotta buy them the cool shit.
Yeah, right.
So hang on, does that mean that you've bought like 9 drum kits this year?
Oh fuck no.
As a parent,
God, no.
I would stab Matthias in the eye with a spoon.
No,
I bought one of my kids a drum set.
No, I bought Furbies for
Robo. You're going Robo.
Oh.
He's right.
All right. Well, okay. We'll go into something good that's happened in your life this year. Because we've sort of started that topic with Bones, so let's go on.
So mine is 100% that front wheel for the simply because it's made life so much easier, and it really has. It's like it's not even a little bit easier. It is like I can bugger off to the shops whenever I want. I can go wherever I need to, whenever I need to. It's not a challenge anymore.
Yeah, Mike.
It's made it a lot easier.
Mike, you're the only one that's left. But real quick, since he's back, you're talking about drum kits. So whenever our kids go with their aunt, they spoiled the shit out of them. They let them do whatever. They come back assholes. So they just had their first kid. Like, she'll be 2, I guess. She just turned 2 like 2 days ago, right?
I see the way this is going.
And me and Alex are both like, we cannot wait for her to be old enough to come stay with us. Because, like, we're going to buy her... The thing we keep saying is buy her drum sets. Wait till we get her a fucking drum set and a keyboard. Just to fucking drive you guys crazy. But, But, Mike, what's up, man? How are you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm very good. I slept in for the first time for a while after the podcast last night, so I got to, like, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. But then did a lot of family stuff today, last minute, like food shopping for Christmas and all that sort of stuff. So, on your topic of how stressful it is as a parent at Christmas time, our two kids are like their cousins are coming for Christmas and it's going to be really exciting. Whereas like me and my wife, we're like, okay, so we've got Christmas Eve dinner, then we've got Christmas Day, then we've got Boxing Day with another and it's just like all these things we've got to either get food for or, we're going out for dinner for one of them. And it's just like we've got all this shit that we've got to get through the next week. And it's just like, as a kid, you don't notice all that sort of stuff. But as a parent, yeah.
And I guess that's why we do it, right? Is to make sure our kids enjoy it like we did. And like you said, you didn't notice that. But you want them to remember those things like we did. Because it was the most happiest day of my life as a kid. So...
Oh, like, if we didn't have kids, Christmas Day would probably be like a barbecue and everybody just comes around and gets pissed. Like, but because we've got kids, you've got to do like the fucking.
What you don't do the
all the presents.
So you don't do the stereotypical Aussie Christmas then.
Say it again, what?
So you don't do the stereotypical Aussie Christmas because that's what I thought you did anyway.
No, I
thought you just had a giant barbecue and drank beer, even with the kids.
Pretty much, but we've got to do presents and stuff. Fuck off with the shrimps on the barbie. we've got roast lamb, roast pork, and what was it? Oh, roast beef. We're doing. So that'll be my job on Christmás and Boxing Day.
I'm gonna need you to put your kids up for adoption and start inviting me over for Christmas every year.
You're more than welcome to come. Dude, we have like 5 kilos of meat for like 10 people. So everybody's having a half a kilo of meat, plus like veggies and and then you got to there's entrees and shit, and there's dessert. So yeah,
maybe I should just come live with you. Can we just move in with you? Because me and Alex are trying.
We have room.
We want to move outside the U.S. anyways, so we might do that.
I mean, I guess if you want to move out of the U.S., that's fair. But like Bones, I've already told you before, I have enough land for you to come just like plop down on it and live on my property.
I'm scared of your wife. Do you think she'd really like me? I think she would kill me. I think she would
I don't
fucking
think
kill
my wife
me.
would like you at all.
No.
You are too much like me. I don't think my wife would like you at all.
No, I don't think so either. Otherwise, I would.
That's very valid.
But someday maybe I can come see you because you're not very far from me, so I do need to come see you sometime.
No, yeah, I think we're only about 2 hours from each other.
Yeah,
I actually have a bid in right now for a auction going on in Orlando, and it is a pallet of 63 desktop computers, currently winning the bid at $20. And if I win the bid, it's a government surplus auction. If I win the bid, my plan is to swing by Bones' house, pick him up, and make him help me load the PCs into my car in Orlando.
For $20?
That's why I'm currently winning it with $20, but it still has 2 weeks left on the auction.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good way to start. No, dude, fucking come get me. I will do that. I'd love to. I have no friends, man. I haven't actually hung out with a friend physically in like 5 years. Alex makes all these girlfriends around here, but like I don't make guy friends because she's hot, and when I make a new guy friend, they just want to fuck her. Really, that's why they're hanging out with me. So I just don't. I don't even try. You know what I mean? So my old friends from Kansas, they knew me before her. Doesn't mean they don't want to, but they're not facetious like that. And so, anyways, and down here, man, people are different than in Kansas. In Kansas, even if they wanted to do something like that, they wouldn't even try. They wouldn't even hit on her. Down here, I have guys following us around in Walmart and shit. right in front of me asking her for a number. These people do not give a fuck. They are crazy down here in Georgia and Florida. Like, they are something different. So there's no Southern hospitality. I've yet to see that down here because it's very opposite.
Southern hospitality doesn't exist in Florida.
Yeah.
Anyway, we need to get moving on. We're already on tangents.
Right.
Okay, so something. This is for Mateus. Something that is good in your life this year.
Yep.
So my wife and I bought our second house this year. Before I get a bunch of crap from people listening to the podcast about how I'm some scummy landlord with multiple properties, I am leasing out the first property to friends of mine. It is a rent-to-own lease, and I am charging them $500 less than the average rent in the area, and every dollar they pay me in every dollar that they pay me in rent comes off of the final sale price for the house. So I'm making a little bit of cash off of it, and they're getting a house cheaper whenever they're ready to buy it. So screw you, I'm not a scumbag.
That was just a preconceived notion. I don't think that's because of what you're doing with your houses.
I literally have already had somebody tell me I'm a scumbag for owning 2 houses, so
Man, fuck
I
these
just
people.
like to preface it with that.
You know how hard that is in this economy? That's really hard. I'm proud of you, Matthias. Keep it up, man.
It was a struggle to get the second one.
Yeah, it's fucking hard. But that's good. You're helping out friends, and that's going to be a blessing to them. That's what we need, more people like that these days. I just feel like, for whatever reason, that people like you and other people just don't want to help out anyone out. I'm not saying that's not true, but it's just getting like more of a rare occasion. So good job, man. Good job.
So next is Aussie Mike. What is good in your life right now, Aussie Mike?
It's probably like a little bit cliche, but doing this podcast has been pretty good. Like getting the chance to just literally sit down and talk about the game that I like so much, like literally every week. And we talk about other shit as well. But even though, the episodes end at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, I've really enjoyed it. And it's been good just to have that, in my life has been pretty good. It gives me that sort of chance to, like, work's been pretty hectic this year, so gives me that chance to just sort of get away from that and have a bit of a relaxing evening / stupidly early morning, and like even like a community of people that have like come along and listen and are in on Twitch and all that sort of stuff's been really good, and yeah, I've enjoyed it a lot.
So that's kind of part how I'll just use yours instead of, and I can say something separately. But yours is kind of what mine would have been. Yeah, like if it wasn't for you guys and the other guys on the other podcast and just the community as well, like, the guys that come by and hang out with us in the chats and stuff like that, we all know our usuals. I would only be talking to my wife and kids. And that's great. It's great to have them, but sometimes it's good to hang out with the guys, right? Of course, everyone in our real lives do not know what the fuck Swugga is. They don't care. They don't want to hear about it. And it's a strange lifestyle, but Swugga is a huge part of our lives, and it has to be if you're going to play it every day. There's no other way around it, and people don't understand that, but when you become part of it, it's something special. I do talk a lot of shit about it, but it is something special when it comes to the community and everything else, so I agree, man.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to unwind and just talk to people. And that's how I vent. I can't go in and talk about CG to my wife. She has no fucking clue what I'm talking about. Or the changes or the episode pass. She just rolls her eyes at me, right? She's very supportive, but doesn't know or care.
Yeah. Now,
every time I try to talk to my wife about new news with Swiggo, she just looks at me with this blank stare and then is like, so how much money are you going to spend on it?
So I think the best part of this, and I think this is going to answer the question for all of us on the next bit, which is like the community that we've made here is freaking brilliant. It's like we can have a laugh, we can have a joke. The best part about the podcast and the greatest part about this year, in relation to the podcast in general, is just the community we've built and the fact we've had some amazing guests on. We have such a damn good laugh. And it's the community it comes down to.
Yeah. So thank you guys for always being there for us and just someone to talk to and talk shit about.
Yeah.
Or not talk shit about, talk shit to. I don't talk shit about you guys, I promise. I appreciate it.
Talk shit with?
Yes, with.
Yeah.
Unless you disagree with me, fuck you.
And just remember, you can always do FUB in chat on every single one of the streams, and Bonus has no idea how to turn it off on his. So it's even better.
Yeah, and thank you guys for getting Fuck You Bones going, getting Pine Cones going. It's kind of become a thing, and it's spread like wildfire.
And you know what? Anything to keep canned meat from being a thing, I think is a a good solid sacrifice.
I don't give a fuck. Chicken in a can is amazing. Not chicken of the sea. Thanks. Actual chicken in a can.
No, chicken of the sea is the only meat that I will eat out of a can.
Isn't that tuna?
Yeah.
Ugh, no. Tuna's disgusting.
Yeah, anyway.
Matthias.
Okay,
no.
so
the white people thing.
He started with don't eat anything in a can, and he's like, actually, I like that. And I'm like, fuck no. All right, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
What was that? Your podcast streaming related good news? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Bones, what is something podcast or streaming even related that's been good this year?
I did my first 24-hour stream. It didn't end well. It ended in insanity. But thanks to Womprat, and once again, thanks to you guys, I made it through. That was kind of my highlight of my year. But just that our podcast and my other one is ever growing. It's amazing to me these people that come out and say, "Hey," and they say this about both podcasts. You're my favorite part of the week. I've had people DM me and say and when we don't do it or I don't upload it fast enough, people are freaking out. That tells me that they love to hear it. So that just means we're doing something right,
Yeah.
So that makes me happy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's also kind of cliche, but those are pretty much the highlights of my year. The 24-hour stream and just that our podcasts are growing and content creators and podcast makers are quitting this game in droves. So it kind of has helped us too. I'm not happy that they've quit, but it has benefited us more, So we started about the right time. Because no matter how much I hate decisions that they make in the game, I'm never going to quit. I'm always going to be here, which means that these podcasts are always going to be here until the end of days. If or whenever the game ever dies. So I do appreciate my co-host. Womprat coming on has been really awesome. I don't know why we didn't think about him in the first place, and getting Matthias back will be great. So so I guess we started this year, so I should say we started Hut's Hangout. That was my highlight of the year.
Yeah.
When did we
that I actually did not know who Womprat was before he was invited to come on and be a guest. I just never heard of him as a viewer before that.
Tell me you don't listen to Three Scoundrels by saying you don't listen to Three Scoundrels.
I don't listen to Three Scoundrels. I tune into occasionally. That's about it.
I looked back and literally, I was on a community episode. Okay, this relates to my one, but I was on a community episode of The Scoundrels, and then on the 17th of May, I was actually on by myself with Kate Gaming, who was one of our recent guests. And the episode before that was The Wolf, who Bones just recently beat in GSC on my account, and The Lost Womprat, literally the week before me and Kate. So I was fun. That whole, that 2-week period in the cantina was, it's just weird. Like a full circle moment where...
That is weird. That is weird.
Yeah.
And it seemed like every
Yeah.
time Kate came on, wasn't someone always
Avant
gone?
wasn't there?
Is it with
Yeah.
Kate or was it with you? One of you two, like every time they come on, one of them's gone, like Avant's gone or something.
I don't think I've been on an episode with Avant. Because
Yeah.
I was always replacing him, and that was the joke.
Okay, well, I know that you two did one without me. Remember? So you had to have done
Oh,
one.
yes,
What
yes,
about-
yes.
No,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
That was
one
recently.
one of the first episodes of Scoundrels that I ever tuned into the live stream for was on like Australia Day or something like that. And
Yeah.
you were chilling in a lawn chair, and I could have sworn Avant was there that.
That was, I think, Mike's first time on there. It might have been because I remember that too.
Yeah.
He was about to go play cricket or watch cricket or some shit. And
Yes, we were on the way to the cricket. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Jelly Fox's birthday. Mateus would recognise him, and I'm pretty sure he listens to us as well. His birthday, we were all going to the cricket, and I was actually going with my mates, and he was going with his, and we're like, ended up literally like, you looked behind me about 6 or 7 rows, and about 4 seats across, and that was where he was. It was like, out of a fucking 60,000 seat stadium, we're literally like, I could throw a beer and hit him in the head. We were that close. It was so fun.
You should have.
Yeah, well, I'm a nice guy, remember?
Hits a kid in the forehead with with a beer.
Jelly
Jelly's
Fox and
our
Vincent
age.
actually, like, if I remember correctly, are pretty big mates outside of Swigo. I think they meet up at the
Yeah.
pub once a week.
Yeah.
Nah,
drinks,
he's
do the indoor
Jelly's
raid
moved.
together.
He's moved up, like the north coast now. So he's probably like an hour and a half away now. But yeah,
Well, they used to meet up at the pub once a week to do the indoor raid together over beers.
it's probably fortnightly. But yeah,
Well, that didn't last very long. All right, that was 2 minutes. Let's get out of here. The indoor raid I just put on auto and called it a day.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
No,
But that's cool,
Yeah,
though.
so that
That's
was
cool.
yeah. I actually forgot about the Australia Day one. I forgot about that part. Yeah, so that was good. But like that,
Good
the starting, yeah, good thing you're here. Doing those podcasts was really fun and sort of started the whole, not started the idea, but when Bones said we should do, like a non-US version, I was like hooked already because by that stage I'd even done an intro on the Scoundrels and like fully turned the Aussie accent and everything up to like 16 out of 10 and all the Aussie slang, and I don't think anybody understood half of it, and yeah, it was pretty good.
I hadn't realized how much you'd been on there till now. Like we've had you on there a lot. Yeah.
So the next part kind of leads from that quite well, actually, because it's the worst take of the year.
No, hang on. Mateus hasn't had his streaming podcast.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yes.
Yeah, so I thought kind of long and hard about what to do for this because obviously I've had a lot to talk about as far as streaming and podcast goes this year. And as much as I love doing the Huts Hangout with you guys, I honestly more so am just excited to have become more of a part of the Swigo community in general. Like, I'm not saying that anybody really knows who I am now, but just like the fact that I can pop into Bones or Womprat streams and have Ryrock hit me up and be like, hey, Mateus, how's it going today? Like people that I never even knew before now recognize my name in the chats. I love that. Like it makes me feel like I'm part of an actual community.
Yeah.
It's true.
I think that is the biggest take from this for all of us is this podcast has come back to community all the time. Like without the guys watching this live on Twitch, without you watching it on YouTube or listening to it on Spotify, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we'd
because you
still
guys
be here.
do,
I'm enjoying the shit out of it, but it's like this hidden bonus that
yeah,
I
other
wasn't
people are
expecting.
enjoying it. Other people are enjoying it. We take the piss, we have a laugh, and everything else, and that's what's important. That is honestly what's important.
It gives you that little extra motivation, though. That's what I was talking about earlier. Like to hear people message you, like, "Why haven't you uploaded it yet?" It gives you that extra motivation. Like, well, people really care, and also we probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the Escape podcast that quit a couple years ago. That made me part of it. It kind of taught me how to do the podcast thing and everything else. And that was my highlight before I even got on. I was just friends with them, and I'd been on there as a guest, but it was my highlight every Friday to go watch them right before I was even part of it. And the fact that I was chosen to be part of it was like, oh my God. So I'm not trying to be egotistical, but I'm guessing that these podcasts might be the highlight of other people's weeks, and that's just fucking crazy. It's not being selfish or egotistical. And I can't give much. Like my life's good except for financially, so. If I can just make someone happy for a couple hours, I know I make some people angry. I don't know if some of you are happy or not when you listen to us. I'm sorry if I do make you angry, but I've always said since day one, even with my personal streams, if I can make one person happy, then I've done my job. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah. I don't have the time at work anymore, but with my previous position, I had not a lot of time while I was at work, but I could have it on like live and be listening and messaging back and that sort of stuff. But this last since August, I've sort of had to listen to it after the fact, and it just it's still great, but I miss that interaction where I could be like hanging shit on Bones while they're talking about something, and
I used to love, and I wish that I still could, and I'm hoping that I can once my shift changes and I'm not the lead and in charge of a bunch of people anymore. I used to love showing up to work, getting everything all set up, pulling out my work laptop, and seeing a notification on my phone saying that Bones has gone live on Twitch, and just pulling his stream up on my work laptop on one screen while I'm working on my laptop on the other, and just listening to him and occasionally insulting him in his chat.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing to take from it is we get to insult Bones and he finds it funny. So yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
You can't take yourself seriously. I look at myself as like the Eminem of Swugga. The reason why Eminem, you can't offend him or anything is because he's already saying about himself. He's already telling you about himself, that his flaws or whatever. You can't hurt him after that. If you don't take yourself seriously.
You can't say anything to me I haven't already said to myself in front of the mirror.
Yeah, exactly. I wear my emotions and all my problems, everything. I'll let you know if I'm having problems at home. I don't have a problem hiding any of that. So there's nothing you can tell me that's going to hurt my feelings, and I was just raised that way. Yeah. I was raised as a kid giving each other the finger, like my family tapping each other in the nuts, and shit like that. Like always cussing, and my family had a lot of money, but we were like trailer trash with money. You know what I mean? Like when you live in that kind of environment, there's nothing you haven't seen or haven't done or haven't experienced that can hurt my feelings. So I always say, like, you're not my real friend if you can't say fuck you, Bones. You know what I'm saying? If you can't talk some shit, there's nothing you can really. Now, if you're just being a straight up asshole, I'm going to tell you fuck you, bud. You know what I mean? We can get over it and we can still be friends. But if you're just really being an asshole, because fuck you, Bones is like talking shit. But if you're being a true asshole, I'm still going to let you know about yourself,
Bones is living proof that you can take the white out of the trash, but you can't take the trash out of the white.
Exactly. Give me a can.
Most importantly, this actually leads in even better. Worst take of the year, and mine is anything Bones has opened his mouth.
The good thing in the game. We completely missed it.
We can
okay. All right.
But so that
the worst take of the year is anything Bones says, right?
Yeah.
You cannot go off the agenda, Womp Rat. He has it perfectly on his spreadsheet.
My eyes starting to twitch.
I need to wind you up.
My list has gone like we've gone through like we started in the middle, we went up one, and now we've gone down two, and the first topic's just sitting there still waiting to be done, and
now you understand why I don't even read it. I just show up and you guys lead the way.
I just respond to what the rest of you say.
Yeah.
Worst take of the year. Are you locking in just anything Bone says?
That is the most sarcastic answer. I would say a lot of people are going to say it's when I was talking about the assault battles that for now it was a solution. I do agree that is a bad take because it was a shit solution. But I would more say anything that Bones has said. He's opened his mouth. He's like a politician, except to bad takes.
Dude, you were politicking hard yesterday, though. Like, I couldn't politic that hard. I was like, damn, Womprat's getting it.
Just give us a fucking yes or no answer.
Honestly, I was feeling the same way listening to him answer that shit. It's like, well, when you're a new player, it's really helpful, but as a seasoned veteran, it's really kind of more of a crutch than anything. I'm like, dude, good or bad? Yes or no? I was already a seasoned veteran by the time I found out I could look up counters on it. I was doing like Mike was talking about, or Bones or whoever it was. I used to do what they were talking about, where I would watch people's GAC streams and learn how to counter shit that way.
I actually need to do that. Now that I have Mike's account, I need to start watching more in-gamers because I think I'm missing out.
All right, Bones, so what is your worst take of the year?
Any take that I have is not a bad take.
So that's his take.
So that is your bad take, though.
Yeah, that's the bad take.
For a serious answer, like I tried thinking about this, and I'm sure I've had a lot that I don't even remember. But I do specifically for a long time when Quad May came out and she had a Datacron. At least every Scoundrels episode, I'd be like, once her Datacron's gone, no one's gonna be talking about her anymore. She's not gonna be that good. Quad May is probably the most hated team for me in the game. I love the lore, I love the characters, but the way that team plays is fucking toxic, like in a power level. Like it sucks. You usually want to use Bane, which is one of the best characters in the game, and sometimes that doesn't work out if he doesn't play out right and they have Yoda. So she definitely didn't fall off. I kept saying she's going to fall off. She is one of the best defensive teams in the game. So that's the one I can think of that I was wrong about. I'm sure there's a lot. Now, if you want to talk about current takes I've been having that are driving people nuts, that just simply that something big is coming to the game. They're opening up the floodgates with LSBs and...
Yeah, but that could be... That might not be a bad take.
But I'm just saying, if I'm judging off people's reactions to my takes, which we don't even know yet, I've been saying that the last couple weeks, and people are flipping out at the idea that something else could happen. I don't know why, but it's angering people, and it makes sense. If you see what's the overall picture of them opening up floodgates on everything, there hasn't been a bottleneck in a long time. I keep hearing people, all the in-gamers saying, I have 7,000 Kairos.
Bitching about a bottleneck on mod slicing materials yesterday.
What did you say?
You were just bitching about a mod slicing materials bottleneck yesterday.
For me, but if you're thinking about like in-gamers, everyone has everything, except the only time I hear in-gamers say is they don't have signal data. That's all that they complain about. But the same people who are complaining about signal data have every character, including Bodhi Rook and fucking, Ugnaught at R7 minimum. So that's why you have no signal data. So, anyways, it's time for a new bottleneck. I'm taking another hot take, I guess, into the year. But yeah, I guess mine would be Quad May.
Okay. What do you got, Matthias?
I don't usually have like hot takes in any capacity. At least not that I'm aware of or can remember.
Not true.
I would
every time you come into a chat, Here's a hot take for you guys every time.
Swigo. I would say my two hottest takes, both of which have not been proven to have been good or bad, was that Jedi Consular with his Datacron would have been good on a Starkiller team. I still hold by that, and I still think Captain Amazing is dumb for saying it would be bad. And my other take was, I don't know, something recently. Oh, that Mace Windu would be good on a Glatt team. I stand by that.
No. Just, there's your
We're
bad take
proving
of
you
the
wrong
year.
right now. We're going to tell you you're wrong.
There's
right
your bad take of the year.
Yeah.
And Newt said that he thought it was an interesting idea and he wanted to try it.
Who did?
Well, Newt's
But
too good.
But who do you remove? There's the problem.
Well,
Who do you
Eric.
remove?
Don't entertain the idea.
You remove Era because she sucks.
She doesn't. Her unique builds the team. Without her, it can be counted easy.
Because it makes the team tankier and you can put him on a Ray team.
Then you lose out even further. Literally, there is just nothing you can remove. There is your bad take of the year. Aussie Mike, what is yours?
Hold on. I did want to comment that if you hadn't have said it, I was going to say your worst take was the Jedi Counselor one. As soon as he said that, I was like, I know what his is. But I didn't ever try it. Who would you have replaced in that team? Because it's very, very specific. Who would have got replaced? Vices?
It would have just been the Jedi.
Tank.
The Jedi.
Consular isn't a tank.
The team is so specific. You can
It
only
doesn't
replace
need
one
to be a
person.
tank.
Whoever the
It just
Jedi
needs
is.
to be a Jedi.
I didn't know that.
There's
I thought it always had to be a tank.
Bonus. There's one extra bonus for if the Jedi ally is a tank. That's it.
So why does everyone replace that Jedi with a Jedi tank then?
So that they can't target the rest of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's a taunter. Because the team doesn't naturally.
I did not know that. I thought it always had to be a Jedi.
Like Barris, think about Barris when like a Barris led team.
I've never used
Starkiller team.
I don't even know what the comp
But you would have
is on
seen it.
I've seen it. But
that was
I didn't know.
when Starkiller first came out. There were two major comps. There was the Emperor Palpatine comp with Mara Jade, and then there was the Zeta Barris lead comp. Those were the only really two that you ever saw. Occasionally, you would see Arnold would throw Mace Windu on the team before Mace Windu got his rework. But I think that was more of a meme than anything else, to be honest.
Yeah.
I will say thank you to Matthias. I've been using the Jedi Knight Guardian now that the Plo Koon Kron. Because I was using Plo Koon, but now I've been putting him somewhere else. So I've been using my R9 Jedi Guardian that I had to relic up because of you. So she hasn't been getting use lately.
What, on your Starkiller team?
Yeah, in that place. She does the job. It's whatever. Is she Galactic Republic?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so I could be putting her with I'll probably start putting her with JMK soon.
JMK.
You can put her with JMK, Padme, Quadme, Keller, and Beck. She works with all of them.
It actually isn't the worst R9. At least she was a tank, so I actually do get use out of her.
I only picked her because she was a generic character that's not needed or wanted for anything.
It wasn't bad. Yeah. Now I have to R9 my Bad Batch for the new year, so that's going to be exciting.
Didn't somebody agree to let you off the hook and like there's only had to get taken to Relic 7 or something like that?
We're not doing that. I owe it
No,
to
That was
I owe it
that
to
was
you
if he got 3-0 in GAC for that week.
And he didn't.
And I lost like the first match. It was like the very first match I lost.
Too much pressure.
There was no anticipation to it at all. I lost instantly.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to do it. I owe it to you guys. I owe it. It's the least I can do. It'll be fun. It won't be, but it will be.
So, Aussie Mike, your worst hot take of the year then?
I was on the train of thought train of Bane being used with Lord Vader as a lifter for Lord Vader, because he's gone through I don't know, 5 or 6 lifters, right? And then we just figured that they're better used somewhere else. And I was really like getting ready, like I'm like, nah, Bones, we've got to use it with Lord Vader. And then fucking he goes off and does his own thing anyway. So
I remember that. I think even
that
then
was
I was
probably-
telling you no, we're not doing that. I think
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
yeah,
I on it. I would say I would support that call, and if I had Lord Vader, I would probably be using Lord Vader with Bane together on offense instead of using Bane under Nihilus' lead, because Nihilus's lead is just part of Lord Vader's lead, except Lord Vader doesn't prevent them from getting critical hits. Nihilus does.
but Bane is better used elsewhere. So that's where it falls down again.
Yeah.
Leave it up to the worst
Bane
theory
is
crafter.
absolutely better used.
Leave it up to the
I'm
worst.
also only in Kyber Freeze.
You're going Robo, brother. Still.
You're going Robo.
Hey, come live with me where my internet's trash so you can stream in Robot all the time.
Yeah. Need
No,
to get my internet upgraded. T-Mobile's been dicking me around.
Look up Spectrum, man. None of my... I don't want to get too much into it, but
Spectrum
no...
doesn't service my area. I live in the middle of the woods.
See,
I'm gonna get fucking Starlink.
my house was the only house in my entire town that couldn't get service for anything. I don't know why. None of the services could tell me, but Spectrum. So leave it up to the worst theory crafter in the game to tell you. I support your Lord Vader Bane theory.
Yeah.
I feel worst theory crafter in the game. Nobody
I feel
tests my
very
theory
used.
craft.
We'll say
nobody
this.
tests the theories for a reason.
All right. Next topic is something good in the game this year. Who wants to go first? Bones?
My brain's swelling right now trying to figure one thing that they did right.
Pick one.
So
It doesn't have to be something CG did right. It could just be something you're happy about that happened for your account.
yeah.
I have an answer.
Now I've got an answer
Bones.
as well.
Oh.
So we'll let Bones go first.
It's just I don't like the Ahsoka TV show, but I like the characters. They released it was a good cadence. I haven't got them yet, but I will. So I'm just excited that I can get Balin and I can get Glatt soon. So and I'm on pace. I'm kicking ass free to play wise. I think I have all marquees at Gear 11 plus. Just waiting to get most of them to hit 7 stars. Like I already had the Great Mothers team. So I'm just waiting on what's the newest ones? Not Shock T. Shinha T and Mark. I'm just farming them, and then I can get Balin when he comes back around. So I think that's it. Besides that, I hate the raid. The Gungans are okay, but I'm more excited about getting Balin. So I'll just say for the good of the game, the character cadence this year was pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So mine is the fact that they did some really good quality of life this year. Like the fact that we can now sim certain events, the fact that they actually updated a load of shit that was really needed. It's like the quality of lives that they did were actually really worthwhile. And my favorite one for the whole year is the GL ticket one. That is just the best thing they've done this year to me. Even if they didn't do all the simming shit and everything else, not losing GL tickets, it's meant that I could test how early can we attempt Jabba, how early can we try this, how late do we need to do this. It doesn't matter anymore. We can just piss about with it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I agree. Even though they were 6 years too late, I do agree.
Yeah.
Matthias?
Nice.
I would say like my big thing that I was happy about with the game this year was, for the first time I chased the meta and wailed out for day one stuff. I got Balin day one. I got Glat day one. I don't have Glat ready yet because I was low on Zeta materials. But day one Balin was really exciting. I love his team. I think it's a great team. I mean, I don't know. It might only be because of the Datacron, but they still kick ass in territory battles and conquests. So I don't think it's all up to the Datacron. I am never gonna do it again. That's for fucking sure. That shit was too.
Yeah.
But I just, I wanted to experience getting the day one new GL one time, so I did. And some of you guys saw, like, towards the last couple of weeks before she came out, of me sitting there being like, man, I can't spend any more money on this. I can't. I'm done. Like, but it was fun to get to experience being at the top of the meta. It's certainly helped me in GACs because, most of the people that I go up against in Erodium 1, Kyber 5, and Kyber 4 don't have brand new day one stuff. So it's certainly helped me by putting, like, Balin's goal on defense. He's been getting holds. It's just been... That's been cool. Never, like I said, I'm never going to do it again, but it was cool to do at least once.
Unfortunately for you picked the most expensive character to ever come out to the game as well.
Yeah.
Marquee wise, so that sucked. So
yeah, certainly does. But everybody else, I'll just get mostly free to play. I mean, I like the new marquee system. Certainly, it makes it cheaper to chase the new characters. Could you imagine if Ahsoka came out last year before they had the special marquee system, and she had 6 marquees and 3 R9s? That would have been awful.
Yeah.
No, that's a good honorable mention. I'm guessing they changed it this year, right? The new marquee system. So that's a good one. I didn't even think about. It doesn't benefit me, but anyone who does spend, that's a huge positive change for people who spend.
Yeah. I mean, it makes it so. I think Womp did the math one time, and it makes it so if you spend, was it $50 on release day, then a month later you can spend another $50, and you'll have them at 7 stars.
So it works out, and I did the maths. It was the £30 pack and roughly $50 worth of crystals. You get to 6 star, and then by the end of the event, it's 7 star. You could then cheapen it out even further and just go, well, I'm going to save my crystals. I'm just going to get the pack that will get me to about 5 star, maybe early 6 star. And then it'll be, okay, well, I'm now 6 star at the end of the event. I might have like 70 shards remaining. Oh, look, they go into shipments. 6,000 crystals later, I'm done. And a month to get 6,000 crystals is quite easily to do.
Yeah.
You just don't
Especially
spend.
with GAC and that. Yeah. Yep.
So that new structure definitely is up there in the really good things this year for the game.
Yeah.
Ozzy Mike, what's yours?
I agree on the quality of life stuff. The one thing you missed out though is the PC client. I think that's like a massive amount of investment they put into that. And like, I am definitely not a streamer like you guys are, but that PC client, like, it completely changed your streaming, right? Like, it was so much smoother and less buggy. And I mean, there were bugs obviously during the year, but it was a lot less likely to crash in the middle of battle or whatever, and that was probably my biggest one.
Crash once in the middle of a fight, and I knew that was my computer's fault. I don't think I've had it crash once where it's actually the game file's fault.
Yeah.
Mobile app, once a week I get a fucking error code and have to restart right after I finish a battle.
Yeah.
And for everyone that's using the PC client, just open up BlueStacks and spend about 1 minute scrolling through the menu. It's like playing the game in slow motion. Like, I can't believe for 9 years we've played on BlueStacks.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible. Fix your program, BlueStacks.
Honestly, I had to do Conquest with somebody on BlueStacks up until like 2 months ago. And I finally turned round to him and said, no, I'm not doing it anymore. You can log into the EA app on my system remotely so that I can do it for you. Otherwise, no, I'm not doing it anymore. Because it was so different and not worth the hassle.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the best take. I forgot about that. So that would be mine if I would have remembered. Good one. That's a good one.
There you go.
I think that's probably.
See, this is why I sat down for a couple of hours and went through everything because I knew there'd be stuff that would get missed. So at least one of us is organised. Okay, final question, which is going to be a controversial one, which we've just TK put it into. So I should mention the worst take of the year was actually a question from Steve. And then favorite guest of the year comes from TK. This one is going to be hard.
That's not fair.
Me and Ozzy Mike had a discussion about it before, and we actually ran through the guests that we had had.
Hang on, I'll go through them because we really should shout them out because like all of them have been amazing in their own way, and just giving up their time.
And I need a reminder because I have so many guests on both sides, so I definitely please give a shout out to everybody.
All right, so our first guest was actually Womprat.
No, Matthias was the first one. Matthias was the first guest.
No, he was a host at that point. He then got demoted.
That was going to be Bones' pick for favorite guest.
Continue on, sorry.
Yeah. So we had Womprat, then we had Steve, then we had Womprat and Nihilus. Then we had the community episode, which was Natty Dude. Just come along. Did No Mercy come to? I don't think he was on the community episode.
It was more than just Natty Dude, I thought.
It was one person. Okay. I remember we had a bunch lined up, and he was the only one who showed up. Yeah.
He was the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Which is why his name's changed in Discord.
Yeah, and shout out to Steve Jr. because I call him Steve for some reason all the time.
Yeah.
Steve Jr.
Unholy Baroness, Tiny Bubbles, Steve again, Hobnail, Egnards while I was away, Old Man Logan while I was away, Evo, No Mercy, Kate Gaming, Sopper, and Old Man Logan again. So, really, massive thanks to everybody who has given up their time. We really appreciate it, and we've had a lot of fun with all of you. So, this is really trying to pick the favorite kid of the family.
So I'm gonna go first.
And you can't.
I'm gonna do what Egnards did to me, and I'm gonna eliminate him like he did in the Gungies to me. So I'm gonna eliminate him out of there just because you're my friend, and so we're gonna give you the Gungi treatment. So Old Man Logan, you're my co-host, so you're out. My two favorite. Okay, first of all, Bane came. Did Bane come on here? No, he didn't. Okay, I love Evo. We need to get Bane on here. He's great. I love Evo. No Mercy. I got to know Mercy to actually know No Mercy. I've talked to him a few times, and then we had him on Scoundrels recently. I really liked him, but can anyone really top Kate? I don't think anyone can top Kate. We love Kate.
I had picked her as well, but it was more because of she was on the podcast on Scoundrels about the time where I was had in my head that maybe this could be a fun thing to do. So it's kind of she was there when I first sort of thought about the idea, and then she was kind enough to come onto the podcast as well, onto the Huts Hangout. So she was I enjoyed the Egnards episode. He's also got to get you've ruled him out, but I'm going to rule him in.
No, fuck him.
Yeah.
No. How are you not gonna? How do I have 2 podcasts and we're friends? You don't even make a podcast category because he knew that we would get nominated.
Yeah.
How are you gonna have a biggest conspiracy theorist or whatever theory and take me out of it? And every fucking category has the same 4 people in it. No. Gungies, I was all about Gungies until I saw who's nominated. I was like, so the same top 5 people get nominated for... It could have been the worst content creator, and it was going to be the same top 5 as the ones that were in the best content
Remember,
creators.
it was the people's vote that gave those lists, so it's actually the community itself.
But how do the Grammys, how do the Academy Awards, how does everyone else work? It doesn't go by the people. The council decides who gets nominated, then the people should vote. I don't care what the people, because only the masses are going to know the top 4 people. There's only a small amount of the community that's going to know the niche people. And a lot of the good content creators got left out. There's other, like, smaller content creators that I wanted to vote for. And then I recommended this, and he's like, no, we're going to do it differently, but we're not going to do that. So it just takes the interesting aspect of it. How many times have you watched, what's the movie one? What's the movie... No, whatever the award shows are for the movies. How many movies that you've never heard of have won Best Movie of the Year? A fuck ton. A lot. So, usually the Best Movie of the Year doesn't win Best Movie of the Year. Who had ever heard of fucking, what was that one where the Indian kid won the lottery or a game show?
What, Slumdog Millionaire?
Yeah, like no one had heard of that movie. And like Little Miss Sunshine got it. Like no one, it was all like independent movies. No one ever heard of that shit, but they still won. And then you went out and watched them. Anyways, that's my rant on the Gungies.
Yeah. Okay.
So, my favorite guest, I couldn't choose between 2 of them because I'm unfortunately ruling Egnar's back in as well because it's the knowledge that he has. And that's the important part. He's as analytical as me, where you sit there and you go, okay, I'm going to rip this apart and see where the fuck it goes. And we did videos together, and it was like, we didn't even go into it with an end conclusion because we ripped it apart and got to the conclusion. And it's like, this is what it is. It's not, this is how it is, or this is how we want it to be. It's always, when he writes it, it's this is how it is. And that's why I love him for Reddit. But my other most favourite guest out of the whole lot is definitely Kate, because she was a laugh to have on. It's no insult to everybody else. You've all been great to have on. But at the end of the day, I used to watch Kate when she streamed her GACs, and it was literally, she's just started doing them again. And it was the joke of, don't watch me to find out how to play it properly. We now have Bones and Kate of who to watch to know how to not play a certain counter.
Also, in the modern day, with the DEI age, it is sexist not to put Kate on your top of your list because she's the only girl streamer left in Swugga. So you're also sexist if you don't pick her.
Because she's not on the top of my list. I just honestly, I have
comes from the person who's the most conservative person on and the most anti-DEI guy on here.
Hey, I love women. That is like one of the peak points of being conservative is that I love women.
He says it in such like a creepy way. When I go to the strip club, I love all the women there, man. I'm in love with them all.
No, I just, I never really watched Celiac Sarah. I never really watched Kate Gaming. Arnold used to be the only streamer that I really watched in this game before Mike started, like paying us to go and be viewers in Bones' stream. So
them to do that? So my whole popularity is a lie. My whole popularity is a lie.
Mike talked you up about how you were some good streamer who was going to start doing his GACs for him, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't want Mike's account to get deleted. So the first time I went to your stream, I like not like you were gonna delete it, but like CG would ban his account for sharing it.
Yeah.
Yep. So the first time that I went to your stream, it was literally just to see the kind of person that you were, and I enjoyed your stream, so I just kept coming back. I would say, my favorite guest is Steve. I just like Steve. He's a guildmate. I've always gotten along well with him, even though him and he's one of those kinds of people that you can have different political opinions than, but still be friends with. And I really appreciate that, especially in today's society. And I just like Steve in general. I think he's a funny dude, and I think he's a smart dude. And I enjoyed the episodes that he came on as a guest.
Steve is the sexiest guest we've had on, I would say. No, I agree. Steve is one of my favorite people in the whole world. I love that you picked him. He deserves it. He's like, everyone can make me laugh in chat, but every fucking joke he makes in chat cracks me up. Like, I don't need to be in person talking to him. Like, he is the funniest person ever. I love his jokes.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, and Mike,
honestly, all of the guests we've had on have been really good fun.
Yeah.
And it's stupidly like TK.
But that's just because his voice sounds so much like mine.
Does it? I'll have to listen to both of your guys' voice.
Yeah, they do sound far too familiar.
I literally will randomly jump into your voice chat while you're streaming and say "fuck you, Bones" in the chat, and then leave it, and you think that it's the recording thing. Somebody.
Are you serious? Really?
Yes.
I probably never knew that was you doing that. Then.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't ever know that.
They do sound very similar, and it is quite funny.
Yeah, I just went on a rant about Ignards. He's my brother. I love him to death. I'm glad. I also met him this year, so I'm glad. I appreciate him. He does a lot for the community. He really cares. He's a selfless person. Even outside of Swolga, he's always doing things for others. He will sacrifice, for any kind of self gain to make sure everyone else is good or to help somebody else. So Egnard is a fantastic person for the community, and he's also starting to make content this year, and so I appreciate him as well. So shout out to Egnards, even though as much as it hurts me to say that.
I think the thing we need to take away from this question is how much of a dick TK is for making us answer this question.
Yeah.
It's fucking like, it's so unfair because we've had
listening to the podcast and refuse to come on guests again because of our answers.
Hey,
we've got Kate locked in for the next 17 episodes.
Yep.
Egnards for some of them. Hobnail's not coming back. Evo's not coming back.
Hobnail. We have to talk about Hobnail. Like, we still need to give honorable mentions because Hobnail is the nicest, coolest, smartest guy. Like, I forgot you said Hobnail. No, we still at least have to talk about Hobnail. He's an awesome guy. Yeah. Awesome dude.
Yeah.
He is still one of my favorite guests on Three Scoundrels. So I love Hobnail.
Sopper jumped in last minute when you were still asleep with your 24-hour stream. So he was really good. Yeah,
I believe you slept all episode, Bones. I cannot believe you slept all episode in your chair.
Also, he may not have been on as a guest yet, but Streaming for Sammy did subscribe to the Twitch channel yesterday while you guys were doing your podcast.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Yeah. He's also in our Discord, I noticed. So
he did. See, that's why I get confused because I thought Bane was on here, but I get confused with Scoundrels in this.
No, Bane hangs out in the chat on Huts Hangout.
Yeah, and there's so many people that just hang out in the chat. Like Sopper, he's a fantastic, supportive guy. I'm glad he got to do the show. I was really happy for him. He did a good job, but he's always there for me and Womp. Always in the podcast. Bane is too. We'll get Bane on soon because he's a great guest to have. He was just on Scoundrels. Dude is a 14.8 million account. He is definitely someone to have on your podcast for some opinions, because that dude knows his shit. Womp Rat benefited from Bane recently, thanks to me and Bane. You're welcome, bud.
Yes, true.
But I'm next in line for Bane's brother's account, and it's something lucrative, like 13 million or something. He's like, if my brother ever quits, you can have his account. So I'm just like, come on, brother. He's about to have a baby, he said. I'm like, come on, let's have this baby healthy. Hopefully this baby's very needy and cries a lot, so that he can't sign in, so I can get this account, baby. I'll keep it warm. Even if the brother wanted to come back, I'll keep it warm for him.
Sitting in the corner wearing a General Grievous mask on. Another fine addition to my collection.
I'm also in the corner of Bane's house, like the baby goes to sleep. I wait for him to leave the room, and I like wake it up. I poke it, and like, and then I go back into the corner until they can leave again. Not in a creepy way. Yeah. It sounds creepy, just to wake up the baby. I promise.
Sounds really creepy.
With a Grievous mask on. I'll be wearing a Grievous mask while I wake it up.
Can we give inverse shout outs to the people who have either refused to respond to our messages or downright refused to come on the show as hosts?
Don't ruin it for us in the future. No. Trust me, I have a few too, but no.
Honestly, we'll say a shout out for Evo, because he came on, and that was like a fucking 6-hour episode, that one, because they changed the one. Yeah, I think it was. What did we do?
It was
the dailies that was when the episode track came out. Yeah,
but we also had 10 other pieces of news that week, so it was really, you did not need to give us any more. Let Aussie Mike go to sleep at 3 a.m., not fucking 6.
Yeah.
I'm
looking at it now, and it was a 4-hour episode.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was.
Oh man, Logan, he jumped on the other night with us yesterday.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Which is awesome.
He was so high. He doesn't even know he was on the podcast yesterday.
No, me and Avant will have conversations for him and we'll have extensive conversations and tell him something, and he'll be so fucked up most of the time he doesn't remember having them. Just on the podcast yesterday, he was like, "What are pine cones about, dude? Have you been part of the community for the last year and a half? Like, come on, man. What are pine cones? Why are we doing?" It started on our fucking Three Scoundrels. One more thing about Egnards. He started Fuck You Bones. Fuck You Bones. It was just him hanging out. Because I'm gonna toot my own horn. I was one of the first people to have Egnards on Three Scoundrels. We became friends. I started bringing him on to my streams and stuff, and we would hang out. Now he's a big dog and doesn't have enough time for me anymore. Even though he did hang out with us yesterday on our stream. And one time, I don't know, I had a hot take or something. He's like, can we get a Fuck You Bones in the chat? And then he integrated it into his Discord. I'll get random pings. I'm like, oh, what? Someone's talking about me. And there's 7 trillion messages in his Discord, and it's just a random Fuck You Bones from somebody. No one's even talking about me. Just someone will just put Fuck You Bones. And some people, I've heard some people be like,
a few weeks ago he was hanging out in your chat, Bones. Pretty sure.
No, he comes by in the chat, but I'm talking about he used to actually voice chat with me. I'm not holding that against him. He's a busy guy, outside of. I'm not holding that against him.
But most importantly, the thing to take away from this is,
fuck you, Bones.
That's a new one. That's a new one, bud.
Okay, now ready. Fuck you, Bones.
Fuck you, Bones.
That is strange. I've never noticed that.
All you white people sound the same. Hang on. Wait.
Australians are still white.
Hang on. We know that Egnards has a doppelganger that says the exact opposite. And we know that our friend Matthias has the bad takes. Okay. Matthias, what's your name on Reddit by any chance?
No. My name on Reddit is Axton's Turret. I do not hang out on any of the Swiggo Reddits. I specifically go to the left-wing Reddits and troll people there.
So it isn't Matthias just being eggnogs then. Right,
No.
okay, right. We've cleared that up.
It's just
We've
me
cleared that
going
up at least.
intentionally trying to anger people on political subreddits. That's the only reason I use Reddit.
Jesus Christ, Matthias.
Do you want your anti shout out to a Bubbles former Huts member? You can do it. You can do one for him.
I think
if Tiny Bubbles listens still.
I think Bones already knows who my anti shout out is for. It's just a streamer that I see eye to eye with.
You've already made it. And me and him have gotten into it. Let's just leave that. Quit being that dog.
Anyway.
Yeah. I think if Bubbles is listening, he's quit asking questions and he's quit coming by. And every time I see him, I give him shit for leaving the Huts Hangout. Bubbles, I don't hate you. I don't think anyone else hates you.
No, we don't hate you. We're disappointed in you, and we wish you'd come back, but we don't hate you.
Yeah. So if you're listening, he used to ask a question every week, and he used to come by all the time. I hope he knows that I've always have nothing but love for Bubbles. I was like, I can't believe him and Yondo left. Like, you guys were one of the prominent members of the Huts Hangout. Like, what the fuck, people? But I don't hate you for that. I'm not even in that guild. Like, come back. Talk to us. Ask questions.
Still part of our Huts community. He just had to start taking the game less seriously, so he stepped down to your casual guild.
Well, that's not a thing anymore.
No?
Oscar went to a completely different guild.
Yeah, he's not...
How long have I been out of the circle? Because a month ago, you guys told me he dropped down to the casual guild.
That guild's been pretty much dismembered for a few months now. Because I just quit. I quit playing it.
He was using my original alt in Bones' guild.
Why did Oscar?
Who's Oscar? Is that Yondu?
That's Yondu. Yeah.
I don't know. There was some drama going on with you guys, and
he didn't. Yeah, he didn't give me a reason. He said he was going to another guild, and
At the end of the day, let's leave this on a high because it has been a great year. It has been a great year. We're getting on.
Our questions are done, so everybody can have their goodbyes and thank yous and that, and then I'll do my final wrap up.
Yeah.
All right.
So from me, thank you all for being here, either on my stream, Bones' stream, this stream, any of them. Thank you just for being here. It helps us guys out a lot, more than you realise. And yeah, just keep going. Let's have a great next year. And let's just have a stupid end to the year between this video being recorded and coming out. There is going to be a few days, but yeah, just enjoy it, guys.
Yeah, and I know we talked about some community members that aren't CCs, like people like Dark Gnar. I know there's a lot more of you that hang out with me every day in Womp Rat. We all kind of share the same viewers. But we wouldn't be here without you guys. And like I said, I know I haven't said your name, but I don't forget you. I'll always remember your names, like Crafting Way, another way. You can change your names. If you tell me your name, I'll always remember you. So you don't go unnoticed. And you know, I don't get millions of dollars. I can't even pay my bills doing this, but it is a dream of mine. I never thought I would be part of the community where my name is known just to some people, and that sounds a little egotistical, but it does make me feel better about myself. Making content has made my self-confidence at an all-time high, and it really just gives me someone to talk to, no matter what I'm in. You know what I mean? It's just, you guys have got me through some shit. My fellow content creator friends and also the community. So just know it doesn't go unnoticed, even if you didn't get a shout out or something. And there's many more to go. We're gonna have more guests next year. We're never going anywhere unless I just die or the game dies. We're gonna be around. So look forward to many more.
As an FYI, I think you should have a talk to Shaka when he comes on. He's redoing
he's
a
not
few
coming
things
on.
and
Shh! Don't, you ruined it, Mike.
No,
Come on, you ruined it.
You did it yesterday. Be quiet, you.
Anyway, so he is restructuring a few things, and I jokingly said, well, Bones is only on 35 podcasts. Just asked him whether he wants to start at 36, and he said, maybe. So
Oh,
you might have another podcast.
is he wanting to do one?
I don't know. He didn't say yes. He didn't say no. He didn't really answer. But you never know.
I would do a third in an instant with Shaka. I don't know what he's talking
Yeah.
about or what you're talking about, but keep him up on
yeah.
it. All right.
When he comes on with us, I'll bring the topic up and see how you go.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Matthias?
I kind of already said my whole part. I really am excited to have become like a well enough known member of the community that people say hi to me in the chats. Even if that's all I ever end up being, that's good enough for me. The only shout out that I want to give is that eventually Bones and I are going to get around to making our review for episodes 3 and 4 of Skeleton Crew. So go check that out on Bare Bones.
Yeah, and we are doing Bare Bones, but Matthias, just Christmas season, man. We might have to put some of this shit off till like past Christmas because shit's
totally get it. But
yeah.
I still haven't watched episode 4 because I was waiting until we recorded the review for episode 3. That way I wouldn't accidentally talk about shit I'm not supposed to.
I mean, we could talk about this offline, but like I would just plan on doing like an overall episode review probably at this point. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll talk about it more after this. Also, we're way past this and we're saying goodbye, but one of my biggest stream things is having Urs on the Three Scoundrels. Urs is a legend. That is like meeting your idol, and getting to do that was one of the coolest things I'd ever done, ever. So
yeah, we all saw you chubby while he was on there. So
I was so hard for him the whole time.
Oh god.
But okay,
Right.
Mike, what do you got to say?
Ozzy, Mike, wrap
Right.
us up.
I'll wrap it up then. So that's a wrap for 2024. Thanks for sticking around, whether you loved it, hated it, or just needed some background noise. We do appreciate you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tell your friends. Unless you're embarrassed that you listen to us, in which case just pretend we didn't mention that. Here's to surviving another year. Stay weird, stay mildly functional, and we'll see you all in 2025. Thank you.
And remember, tell your sister Bones was right.
We're going to cut that part.
He's wrong.
Bye, everybody. Have a good holidays and have a good New Year's. Love y'all.
Yeah.